Hello, my name is Yvonne Stewart-Williams, and today is the 2nd of January 2018. And I am sort of like thinking about, I'm looking forward to not to sort of like hurry January away because I've got quite a few things planned for January, such as 5 years on with the Schizophrenia Commission, where I was a commissioner. I am a commissioner, a schizophrenia commissioner, where we took evidence up and down the country about schizophrenia from, people who have psychosis, schizophrenia, and related illnesses, and their carers, loved ones, and professionals and stuff. And there was a recommendation, or several recommendations, but I've sort of like submitted a quote for one on how the NHS or community mental health teams are faring when it comes to employment and signposting people to employment or businesses or whatever, peer mentoring or voluntary work and all of that, when they have this condition and stuff, and sort of like stopping the poverty of aspiration. Yes, that's right, that little chestnut again. Of course I have seen with my own eyes, I've experienced SLAM, South London and Maudsley Psychiatric Hospital NHS Trust, National Health Service Trust, actually worked in collaboration with me and my community mental health care coordinator, which was a social worker, supported me to initially to complete applications, apply for, and do mock interviews and support around my Thames Reach post, full-time paid post. It will be 11 years ago in April. So April the 10th. So yeah, that was some time ago, and of course, during my time with Thames Reach, of course, it's not been all hunky dory and plain sailing, and skipping off into the horizon towards the sunset. I have had some relapses, and some of them quite daunting. One of them, I ended up in prison for some time, and a locked psychiatric ward following my spell in prison for even longer and stuff, before returning to work and stuff, and having to be redeployed and all of that. So due to erotomania, and I was diagnosed with erotomania in prison and stuff, which is love addiction, for those that don't know what erotomania is and stuff. So yeah, so that was coupled with my psychosis, my schizoaffective disorder, my condition. So yeah, so, and I was redeployed, of course, to from my previous post to the Waterloo Project, which I have been for at least 6 or 7 years, thereabouts. More perhaps, but yeah. So on the 17th of this month, I have I'm going to meet up with the chair of the Schizophrenia Commission, which is, of course, Professor Sir Robin Murray, who is a psychiatrist at the Maudsley Institute and Psychiatric Hospital, and several others and stuff, because I'm going to talk about that. I mean, obviously, since I've been with Thames Reach, I have benefited from, psychotherapy, group psychotherapy, and also the long-term effects following that group psychotherapy, which I attended for quite some considerable time and stuff, not least when I came back out of prison, and taking time off from work to attend. I also attended, some Acts for Recovery series of groups and stuff, and that sort of like proved the real, stabilizing factor that nailed it on the head, and helped to me because actually Acts of Recovery is for those entrenched people like myself who, everything else seems to have failed and stuff, and Acts of Recovery were piloting these groups where they had a service user and psychologist and stuff, to sort of like run sort of like groups and techniques and skills, to support my behavior, action, reaction responses in a set of crisis and stuff, and also for everyday things and stuff, and it proved fruitful. And actually, talking about Acts for Recovery, I also wrote a quote for them, because their book is going to be published sometime this year and stuff, and it's like a sort of like an exercise book as to the benefits of it and stuff like that, skills, techniques and stuff. So anyway, getting back to Schizophrenia Commission and my Thames Reach work and stuff. Thames Reach, fantastic, exemplary employer, and as I say, under the guise of the extremely capable hands and valuable visionary foresight of Jeremy Swain, has sort of like cradled, supported me to have like my group sessions and stuff, take time out to have that, as well as sort of like going to my community mental health team when I was still a part of that and stuff, for appointments and stuff, taking my appointments to the doctors to sort of like pick up my medication and that, and things like well, not just about appointments, but also sort of like managing my managers, the Thames Reach managers, managed my mental health and stuff. It wasn't, like invasive or anything like that. I revealed on the application form in the first place that I had a particular condition and stuff, and like that it was quite an aggressive type and stuff. I mean, paranoid schizophrenia. I mean, like what can I say? And even I had to find, like references to sort of like back me up for 5 years, and anyway, whilst I've been at Thames Reach and stuff, I am now finally under the third party sector, which is a Lambeth hub, which is GP Plus, old GP Plus, which is a combination of SLAM and which is South London and Maudsley Hospital, as I said, and and I have and third sector parties and stuff, and I have a community psychiatric nurse who attends my sort of like care and manages me and my mental health and stuff. And I meet with her regularly and stuff, and we go over like whatever is going on and how I feel and whether I've been to the doctors and how my medication's going and like what's happening with me and stuff like that, and some like other sort of like information and stuff like that, and sort of have that like professional intervention and that, and I take time off work to do that. Obviously, it sounds as if I'm taking a lot of time off work. I'm not actually, but but my maintenance of my mental health is key, and sometimes it as I say, like sometimes I have like sleepless nights, or or I might not be tickety boo and hunky dory and stuff with my mental health. It might be slightly awry and stuff, and it needs to be sort of like catered for with a little bit more sleep or rest, or like an adjustment with my medication, or like sort of like looking at my kind of workload or stuff. And so like my managers pick this up in supervision, because like we typically go over it. And of course, in my sort of like hostel setting, homelessness hostel setting, which I am a support worker in and hoping to be an assistant support worker in, like we've got psychologists on board, and we had psychiatrists as well and stuff. So like, and they run a sort of like psychologically informed environment. So like and some of them and they are employed by SLAM and stuff. So like they're very professional, and they know their job and purpose and stuff. So yeah, so like I've got that, but also I've got in case I run into difficulties, there is also a online counselling, that I can sort of like tap into at any time of the day or night if anything is bothering me, or I'm sort of like concerned about anything. Like, and Thames Reach has that online, and there's a login service and stuff like that you're able to sort of like access in or out of work and stuff like that, to like manage mental health, moods and stuff like that. So Thames Reach does a lot and stuff. And my community psychiatric nurse, of course, who is a part of SLAM but also employed third sector, is also utilises the Mosaic Clubhouse and stuff like that, where I sometimes have had coffee or meals and stuff like that with her and stuff, over a sort of like a meeting, a discussion and stuff in the Cold Harbour ward there, just like EFRA and stuff. So yeah, and actually they train people who have mental health conditions to become employees, or in the mainstream and stuff. So and also Mosaic Clubhouse peers, mental health peers, are also employed by my community psychiatric nurses team to administer their administration. So yeah, it's all tied up there. And of course, my PI psychologists, like, which we operate a PI environment in our hostel for Thames Reach, Also employed peer mentors and stuff. Like Slam sort of like interviews them, and they have to go through their DBS checks and all of that kind of business. So, yeah, it's all tight and stuff. So I can see, like whereby inroads are being made into employing people who may have entrenched mental health conditions, and you that's a good thing. So like I'll be able to feed that back to like the Schizophrenia Commission. Another thing that I'm going to be doing in January is that I'm going to be a while ago I submitted a YouTube video for application to well, it's now called Black Thrives, which is something that's a baby of Councillor Jackie Dyer, MBE and stuff. She's councillor for Vassal Ward. She's Labour and stuff. Yeah, opposite number. And it's a mental health thing for the black community, black African Caribbean community and stuff, for black well-being, mental health and well-being. And I was with them for a little while, sort of like doing a few bits and pieces voluntarily, because obviously I'm working full time, so this is all in my spare time and stuff. And like and then it like I decided to come away because like I didn't feel that there was enough emphasis for me, like, because me being all things LGBT, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and queer, that I didn't feel that there was enough of a focus on that, and I needed it. Like there could be any black female there with mental health lived experience that could be present in my place if we wasn't going to focus on that area. But anyway, now recently and certainly this month, there's going to be well, we've had meetings last month, but there's going to be further consultation between the sort of like black African Caribbean, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, people with mental health conditions and stuff and lived experience in the Black Thrives partnership and stuff. So like I've been sort of like meeting up with them about like how to take that forward, and like my role in that and stuff. And I think it's valued. Like I actually respect Councillor Dyer and stuff for her. She obviously got her MBE for her services to mental health, and she has been like robust in the way that she sort of like executed like this area of expertise. So so that's coming up and stuff, and obviously it then takes us into February, which is, of course, it's like it's a favourite month of mine, which is obviously the Lesbian and Gay, Bisexual and Transgender History Month and stuff, and it's the whole of February and stuff. And that was when equal marriage in this country was first pitched. It was pitched within the LGBT History Month on, I believe, Norman Tebbit MP's, Lord Norman Tebbett's birthday. Yeah. So like I just want to sort of like say that I'm a proud Tory and stuff, like, and there's lots of different Tories and stuff like that, but like, and whilst like I might be like in October I would have been talking about William Wilberforce, but like today I want to pay special attention, because obviously, like it's special attention as a Tory, as a proud Tory, to one of my mentors, and which would have been one of my best friends had I been in a situation to have it been allowed and stuff. Certainly a great role model and stuff is William Pitt the Younger and stuff, who, like me, was a Tory and the youngest Prime Minister, and also, was gay, homosexual, if you like, and stuff, and sort of like supported William Wilberforce to realise his aim and stuff. So the combination, both one sort of like with the abolition of sort of like a slavery and sort of like bringing that forward, and William Pitt the Younger with his own personal sort of like sexuality and stuff, and sort of like being in office and holding high office at such a young age and stuff, and like leading us through, like for the time, lots of things, not least madness and like and all of that kind of business and stuff. So with George III and stuff, but getting back to William Pitt the Younger, I feel as if like people like him and William Wilberforce make me proud to be a Tory and stuff. The legacy, the bar is so high, I don't know how I can possibly live up to it. I'm contemplating, like this Quaker meeting house. It's all inclusive, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender, queer included. Quaker meeting house in Jamaica and stuff, and it's nothing in comparison. It's a teardrop in the ocean compared to what William Pitt the Younger and William Wilberforce pulled off and stuff. Like it's amazing. And obviously, January is the anniversary of his birthday and stuff, William Pitt the Younger, and it's amazing and stuff. We lived through such amazing times, and so like for me, I just want to sort of like say that it's people like those and stuff. You think, I mean, there's been people down the line, but if I talk about people of the past, people that I would have liked to have met and stuff, just to sort of like shake their hands and say, well done, well done, because obviously like James the Sixth of Scotland, First of England, like, well, he had a set of circumstances, of course. But, like William Pitt the Younger, like a Tory like me, like I understand that gay issue and what it is. Like I can fortunately marry in my Quaker meeting house a woman of my choice, the woman that I love and stuff, if I want and she wants and stuff. But Like that's not possible for many other people. And like William of his time, he may have been a prime minister, but he didn't have equal marriage. He didn't have, like these set of circumstances whereby he could stand up in church and sort of like declare his passions and desires. Like at the end of the day, the circumstances were very different and stuff. And so I'm privileged. I mean, I've never been so privileged. Like I'm privileged and blessed in history to be in this position and stuff. So for them, and also realizing that, I'm not going to bang on about the Tory greatness, but you have to admit that they are formidable and stuff. But anyway, and that includes me, I suppose, and stuff. But like I also want to sort of like take time out to sort of like say, not that she celebrated it anyway because she was a Jehovah's Witness, but my mother's birthday falls in like sometime within the lesbian and gay, bisexual and transgender history month and stuff, and she was, is, and remains my best friend, my mentor, my role model, and at the end of the day, I'm fortunate indeed to have had her as a mother, and I'm so pleased that Dame, well, I'm so pleased that we're in a position whereby Parliament is talking about putting the mother's name on a marriage certificate. Yeah, downloading it and putting it on a marriage certificate, because I would want my mother's name to be on my marriage certificate, because she was a formidable, stalwart ally to me and stuff. And I don't want her forgotten. I don't want her to sort of like be in sort of like recesses of history and stuff. So that's great. So like Caroline Spellman is like hoping for that as well, and she's another Tory, as I must say. But anyway, I'm not going to be partisan and stuff, because there's a lot of sort of like other people from other parties that are like fantastic. But we're coming into elections, so please allow me to sort of like be a bit more sort of like Tory focused and stuff. So anyway, this song I'm going to dedicate to my best friend. My ultimate best friend, as I say, is my mother and stuff. Like what she went through. She knew I was gay. She brought me around the family. She came to me with me to gay weddings. She sort of like supported me. She did everything in her power to support, love, and showed me that she cared, and she was brave. And there was no place that I went that she didn't sort of like try to follow and go and stuff like that. And I respect her and stuff. And if it wasn't for her guiding light, I wouldn't be half the person that I am and stuff. So anyway, this is Best Friend, dedicated to my mother. Yeah, that's a chesty one. Anyway, so that's best friend, dedicated to my mother. I mean, I've had many best friends, but she's my ultimate best friend and stuff. And pardon me, people like William Pitt, the younger, and William Wilberforce, obviously are role models and mentors for me as a Tory of my age and stuff, doing my small bit in this world. And yeah, so anyway, enough of that and stuff. And obviously, my mum, with this, getting back to the Schizophrenia Commission, not that I'm chopping and changing all over the place, but sort of like, like it mattered to me very, very much, because my mother was diagnosed with depression when I was very young, and then got another diagnosis later on as of schizophrenia stuff. That was my mother and stuff, and she experienced electric shock treatments, padded cell. Her marriage crumbled. Her children were estranged from her. I was taken into care and stuff, and it all went pear shaped. It was very, very, very bad for her. So she couldn't even watch TV. Like she was on such debilitating drugs such as chlorpromazine and Disipal and stuff, and and so that's one of the reasons why the Schizophrenia Commission is so important to me, and its effects need to be far-reaching, because my mum still worked. Yeah, she did. She with all of that, she'd be away when she had her episodes for weeks at a time in a locked ward. I couldn't visit her and stuff, and as a child, and but she found employment and she stuck with it, and at the end of the day, at retirement, she retired and had a purse from Vauxhall Motors, General Motors and stuff. She had a purse, a retirement purse and stuff, and she proudly sort of like showed it off and stuff. So and who knows? I may retire from Thames Reach, show off a purse of my own. I don't know. But she was formidable and stuff. She knew nothing about gay. It was unheard of. It was like a military secret if it was even sort of like uttered and stuff, or surmised. But she was there for me and stuff, and lots of like stigma could have been attached. She could have sort of like had that from her own condition, as well as like my sexuality and stuff. And she stood by me. She was a formidable best friend, and she revealed my sexuality, and she revealed her mental health and stuff. And that's why when I had my mental health, she was in my corner. She was walking with me. She was sort of like supporting me and helping me and trying to guide me and stuff. I obviously had my own journey and my own path to trod, my own road to travel and stuff. But she was there nevertheless. She was always in my corner, and she never sort of like let me down and stuff. And even when she didn't understand, she sort of like says, she told me and stuff. But she is my ultimate best friend and stuff. But so for all those who have a best friend or have many best friends, it could be simple as that. And that I have had lots of best friends over there, but obviously my ultimate best friend is my mother and stuff. She gave birth to me, and she remembered her responsibilities throughout and stuff, and nurtured and cared for me. And like, even though in the end, she didn't get her wishes met, but you know what? Her memory lives on for all the good that she did and tried to do and stuff. And so, if you've got a best friend out there who's alive or may have passed away and stuff like that, no longer with us on, like in life and stuff, that you want to acknowledge, then you know what? You do that and stuff. Yeah, go for it and stuff, because we all need someone. And you know, the support, is necessary when you're going through things, and even when you're not, just to sort of like have that sense that actually, someone cares and stuff, or somebody cared, and that. And I have other best friends now and stuff. They're in no way take the place of my mum's sort of like sterling stuff, because she was formidable. But they're all right. They'll do and stuff. They do their best and stuff, and that's just got to be good enough. It is what it is. So anyway, wherever you are, whoever you are and stuff, have a good one. Happy New Year and stuff. Didn't say that at the top of it and stuff, but I'm saying it now. Happy New Year for 2018 and beyond and stuff. Whoever you are, wherever you are, have a good one, and no.